Okay, so let's talk about the 4th of July because, believe it or not, it is this week. It's Friday. We're talking all about fireworks, barbecues, and summer celebrations. But for families with a pepperoni, a little pet there, you can see in the bottom of your screen, we've got some things to remind you about. Not only the noise, but other things, including the fabulous food that's out, the alcoholic beverages we want to keep away from your pets. So we are going to get into all of the different topics that you might not think about when the 4th of July rolls around if you have a pet. So Dr. Keith is here to join us and run us through all of these items, which you might learn a couple of things today about what you should keep away from your dog as you celebrate the 4th. So first, discussing fireworks, right?
Yeah, absolutely. So I think when we think about 4th of July, fireworks come to mind, and we know that those are harmful for our pets and can pose some significant safety issues, not only from the noise, but also from just the dangers of them actually being handled and also ingested. So being aware of that noise and how to keep your dog safe from those fears is always important. And obviously keeping those sparklers, those fireworks up and away from our pets to where they can get to them.
So speaking of how to help these dogs with their anxiety with the fireworks, because they're going to be happening whether you want them to or not, what different items do you have on the desk here? Yeah,
so we've got a few, and these are all over-the-counter options that can really help with some anxiety and those noise phobias that those dogs make. So we've got some pheromone collars, which can help with some relaxation. Some diffusers for our cat friends too. So those, the cats that are in hospital, we don't want to forget our cats and the phobias that they can.
Right in, huh?
Yeah, so those can help. And these are great options, but they don't necessarily replace the medications and those anxiety medications that you should consult your veterinarian about if your animals have some significant noise phobias. So
what is this?
So those are just some rescue remedy, like little drops, which can help with some calming. So it's more of a
right on their body.
Correct. Those are more of like a homeopathic option. They can work with some dogs that have, or cats that have some maybe lesser noise phobias, but can provide some options too.
This is the collar you were talking about?
Yeah, that's a pheromone collar. It's called Adaptil. That can help with some noise phobias and some anxiety.
Relax them a little bit.
Exactly, and combo that with some of those medications that you consult with your veterinarian about can really provide some good options.
Okay, and then is this kind of a sound canceling?
Yeah, so this is more of for your, going to play that calming music. So during 4th of July, when those fireworks are going off, keeping our pets to a central room where they're blocked from some of those sounds, accompany that with some calming music, either from one of these machines or from whichever music player you want. Those nice classical sounds do show to be have that calming effect on our pets.
Keep them in the inside of your house, away from the windows.
Absolutely, yeah. Where they're going to be shielded from that noise, but they're also going to be safe. So we're not talking about them running away from those sounds and being scared and trying to dart and get away from those sounds.
Do you want to talk about that briefly? Because I know the 5th, the day after, could be a busy day trying to find those pets again. So what do you suggest for people who are scared of that?
Absolutely. So fireworks obviously are going to be going off all throughout the day. Keeping our pets inside not only prevents them from being, at least shields them from those sounds and everything that they're going to hear, but it also keeps them safe from being able to escape from the house. So keeping them inside, confined in, whether that's in an interior room, whether that's in a kennel where they're going to feel safe and comfortable around those, familiar toys or whatever it is that's going to make them feel great, then that's the best way of keeping them safe.
Okay, I know we're already getting the wrap, but we have to talk briefly about this display of food that you have.
Yeah, I don't want to forget about the dangers for the food and stuff that we're going to see from the party. So we need to be careful about the skewers that we see in our kebabs, which we love. Chicken, and just not only the fatty nature of those foods can cause GI upset, but the bones can pose a risk for not only obstruction, but for damage to the lining of the GI tract. And then we also want to be careful, corn cobs, big cause of obstructions.
Corn cobs, yes.
Lastly, our alcoholic beverages, we need to be very careful to keep those up and away from our pets, because even with our small dogs, a couple licks of a margarita or whatever's on the ground, we need to be very cautious with that. So the toy you're holding, the stuffed margarita, that should be the only alcohol that our pets are getting into today.
A margarita. Get one for your pepperoni. Thank you so much, Dr. Keith, for coming in.
Thank you for having me.